Right now at 12:30, we have developing news out of Redwood County. 2 children remain unaccounted for after their house caught on fire. Also, we have new details today out of Connecticut regarding the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting, what it means for parents. And now, moving closer to home, we got the snow, now here comes the cold. Dylan Kerfman will have your weather forecast coming up. You're watching KSSU News at 12:30. It is Thursday, December 5th, 2013. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. We begin our afternoon coverage today with breaking news out of Redwood County. KSSU reporter Ryan Bartz is in the newsroom with more.
Josh, 2 children are still unaccounted for after a house fire in rural Lucan, Minnesota. Authorities say they responded to the 2-story single-family home after the homeowner reported it on fire. 2 adults and several children were in the home at the time of the incident and escaped without injury. Unfortunately, 2 children are still unaccounted for, and authorities have not yet released their names due to their age. The cause of the fire is still under investigation, and several area county departments are now assisting Redwood authorities. For KSSU News, I'm Ryan Bartz. Josh, back to you.
Ryan, thank you. 3 children are recovering this afternoon after a car they were in plunged into a frozen pond. The incident happened early this morning in St. Louis Park. After the driver lost control of her car, authorities say 2 other children died shortly after the incident. St. Louis Park police say the driver only had a learner's permit. At this time, no other charges have been made. Almost 1 year since the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting in Newtown, Connecticut. 911 tapes were released yesterday. This comes after Connecticut State Attorney Stephen Sedinsky fought to keep them sealed. Since releasing the tapes, more information is now known about what happened in the moments leading up to the tragedy. The audio tapes include teachers calling for help and a custodian explaining what was happening. One call included, "They're still running. They're still shooting. Sandy Hook School, please." Many of the victims' families were against the releasing of the tapes to members of the media after privacy issues arose. The shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary is the 2nd deadliest shooting in U.S. history. 29 names of priests accused of sexually abusing children are scheduled to be released today. The St. Paul and Minneapolis Archdiocese made the announcement after a judge ordered them to release the names by December 17th. Archbishop John Neinstead said last month he would reveal the names of the accused to show his commitment to the transparency and safety of youth. When the information is released, it will contain the priest's name, age, and year of ordination. A snow emergency has been declared for the city of Marshall. The sub-zero temperatures, icy roads, and blowing snow have been more than enough to keep city workers busy. Workers will be removing snow from the downtown area until later this evening and making second passes in the rural areas. Lyon County highway officials are advising no travel. We're now going to head over to Dylan Kerfman in the KSSU Weather Center. Dylan, we saw the snow. Now I hear from a little bird that we have some pretty bad cold temperatures coming.
Well, let me tell you, Josh, the bird you were talking to was very correct. It's going to be cold. We're going to be plunging into negative temperatures, and the winds are also going to be picking up, meaning very cold wind chills. In fact, I have a wind chill warning to tell you about coming up in just a bit, but we'll have those details in a little bit. So, Josh, back to you.
Dylan, thank you. We'll have more weather and we'll have more news coming up after the break. You're watching KSSU News at 12:30.
At Southwest Minnesota State University, our students come first. It's a commitment you can see in our new Regional Events Center, Residence Hall, Student Center, and Science Lab renovation. We've invested over $80 million in the past decade for top-notch facilities, and we're not stopping there. Southwest Minnesota State University, it's where you belong.
I tell people I have 3 kids, one of them's adopted, I just don't know which one.
I can't imagine having to be in a birth mother's position to make that choice.
You know, I was kind of just asking her, you know, what is it, why are you doing this? And she looked at me and she said, because you can give my son a life that I could not.
We always tell her, thank you, he is such a blessing to us.
Every day is just a ray of sunshine from him, so. We're Chanda and Brian, and we chose adoption.
New York rail officials are reopening another track that was damaged in a deadly train crash last Sunday. Metro North Railroad announced today that repairs on the second Hudson Line track are finished. Full service of the track will resume tomorrow morning. Sunday's crash killed 4 people and injured 67. The National Transportation Safety Board is trying to determine the cause of the crash. A representative from the Engineers Union told CNN the investigation so far points to human error. The autopsy of Paul Walker has been released. The report released by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office listed the cause of the death as the combined effects of traumatic and thermal injuries. It is stated that Roger Rodas was driving and suffered multiple traumatic injuries, but it was unclear if he was alive when the car burst into flames. 2 doctors completed separate autopsies, but the difference in the description does not mean the deaths were significantly different. Walker was a star in the movie series The Fast and the Furious. Filming for the latest movie is now on hold. A man has been rescued after being trapped in a sunken ship for 3 days. Harrison O'Keen was aboard the Jackson 4 oil ship when the ship capsized and sank. O'Keen was able to seek refuge in a small air pocket with no visibility inside the ship. Unable to drink the salt water, O'Keen survived on drinking Coca-Cola for 3 days until he was saved by the rescue team. Of the 12 men aboard the ship, O'Keen was the only survivor. Dozens of pilot whales are stranded in the shallow water of the Florida Everglades National Park. Wildlife officials of the park say that the outlook is not good. Volunteers have been trying to find ways to help the whales, but are continually unsuccessful. 10 have already died and the remaining 41 are in poor condition. Officials believe it took the pilot whales days to travel the 20 miles from their typical home in the deep waters to the shallow beach area where they were found. SMSU hosted their 8th annual research conference Wednesday. More than 200 students shared their topics, including history, biology, and creative writing. The conference was founded in 2006 as a way to give SMSU students a chance to present original research to the public. Participants in the conference said it was a great experience and extremely beneficial. We're now joined with Dylan Kerfin once again with weather. Dylan, I'm getting really sick of this winter weather and it's only December.
I know, we got a long ways to go, Josh, and I know in Minnesota, bad winters is nothing new to us, but it's not always fun to fight through either. So fortunately, we do have cold temperatures coming up. So on that note, let's head on over to the KSSU Weather Center. Now, our weather photo for today comes to us from beautiful Main Street, Marshall, Minnesota. As you can see, the snow still around from our recent snowfall, and the sun is starting to rise too. You can see those rays starting to creep in on our picture. It looks like a picture-perfect day. But again, those cold temperatures are going to be creeping up and are going to make it a day you really don't want to be poking your head outside. Now, we'll take a look at our weather almanac. Today we're expecting a high of only 6 degrees and a low of -8. The problem is, though, the winds are going to start to pick up and cause greater wind chills that could be anywhere to near -20 to even 40 below zero. So you want to make sure to bundle up. Now, our average this time of year is 31 degrees. We're well below that. And back in 1962, believe it or not, 59 degrees was our record high. Unfortunately, I don't see that coming anytime soon here in the forecast. And finally, the days are getting darker. Sunset, 4:43. Where does that light go? Now, the National Weather Service has issued a winter weather warning, in the sense of a wind chill warning, rather, and that is for much of the Minnesota area, as well as North and South Dakota and parts of Nebraska and Colorado. It's going to be cold. Again, like I said, you got negative temperatures combined with strong winds are going to make it feel very cold, -20, -40 wind chills. So you want to bundle up and avoid staying outside. And if you can help it, maybe delay shoveling that snow you've been wanting to shovel until it gets a little bit nicer. Now, our National Doppler radar, again, nothing too severe up here in the upper Midwest and in Minnesota. Most of the precipitation are just few rounds of showers down in the southeast and a few patches in the Texas and New Mexico area. But at least on that note, we have nothing to worry about up in our neck of the woods. Current temperatures right now, again, very cold, although Montana seems to be getting the most of it with actual temperatures down in the -20s. So we can be grateful for that, but it is very cold. There we go. Now, to further emphasize our cold temperatures here in the state, you can see the temperatures not wanting to get to the double digits. We got 0 down in Fargo, the Minneapolis area, 5 degrees. Up in International Falls, it's actually one of our warmer temperatures of 8 degrees, so you don't see that too often. But again, our trend is cold weather all across the board in our region. So then, let's take a look at our 4-day forecast for our Thursday today. Expect a high of 6 with temperatures going down to -8. Strong winds again with our wind chill warning. For Friday, we see a high of only 4 with -12. Good news is the sunshine comes out, so we at least have that to look forward to. For Saturday, 7 degrees, low of -2. And finally on Sunday, we warm up to 9 degrees, if we can call that warming up, and we do expect to see some snow showers on that day. For KSSU Weather, I'm Dylan Kerfman. Josh, back to you.
I guess the time has come that I'm going to have to pull out the winter jacket this evening. Thanks, Dylan. Coming up next in KSSU Sports, Craig Fisher has a look at your Mustangs, as well as some very interesting Timberwolves news that you're going to want to stick around for. You're watching KSSU News at 12:30.
It's not like studying from textbooks all day. We actually get to go out and experience what reporters and newscasters do every day.
I love keeping people in the loop with what's going on in this ever-changing world.
We get to plan, produce, direct, edit, all the things that make our own little studio run.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The Action Team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
The moment we have all waited for has arrived. The SMSU football team will make its first appearance at the 48th Annual Mineral Water Bowl, playing against number 17 Pittsburgh State University. But before the game, let's talk about two of the team's outstanding team members that will be the key players in Saturday's game. After being named a Harlan Hill finalist and leading SMSU to its first ever postseason game appearance, junior running back Tyler Tundrum has had a phenomenal season. He has now broken the school record of 1,979 rushing yards on 315 attempts, has now recorded 9 100-yard rushing games and 4 200-yard rushing games. He was named the NSIC Offensive Player of the Week after a very close game against Minnesota State Moorhead. Head football coach Corey Sauter describes him as having all the traits you look for in a running back: game-breaking speed, elusive, tough, durable, smart, and a strong work ethic. He is a true team player and class act. Another player to watch out for is senior wide receiver Anthony Dean. After scoring a school record tying 4 receiving touchdowns in a nail-biting loss to Sioux Falls Cougars on homecoming, he was named the NSIC Offensive Player of the Week and D2Footballs.com National Offensive Player of the Week. Also in the game, he scored 308 receiving yards, which ranks him as the second highest single game total in Division II this season. He is also the second SMSU player to record more than 300 yards receiving in one game. But Dean and Tundrum are 2 of the 14 players to earn all NSIC honors, and Dean is one of the 15 seniors who will be playing in their final game of the season. You can catch these 2 players and the rest of the Mustangs as they travel to Excelsior Springs, Missouri to play in their first ever Mineral Water Bowl game this Saturday at noon. You can watch the game live stream on northernsun.com or listen to the game on KARL 105.1. 5 SMSU women's soccer players have been named to the 2013 All-Central Region team. Brianna Deeks and Miranda Cadena were named to the first team, Autumn Hayes and Megan Kilroy were named to the second team, and Kendall Fisher was named to the third team. Cadena was also named a Division II All-American, and Deeks was named NSIC Goalkeeper of the Year, which followed the team's best finish in school history, and it earned them a Sweet 16 appearance. The team has many honors, including head coach TJ Buckholtz earning NSIC Coach of the Year. The Minnesota Timberwolves were scheduled to play the San Antonio Spurs last night in Mexico City. However, that did not happen. The game was canceled due to the entire stadium being filled with smoke produced by a generator malfunction. This happened just 90 minutes before tip-off. The NBA later announced that the game was postponed and will be played at the Target Center. The date has yet to be determined. For KSSU Sports, I'm Craig Fisher. We'll be right back.
Parents sure have their hands full, and they could use an extra hand. Now, every state offers free or low-cost health insurance for your sports hero or budding artist. Kids up to age 19 can get checkups, doctor and dentist visits, hospital care, prescriptions, and your child may qualify based on your family size and income. It's one less thing to worry about. Call or go online for more information.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back. We're going to get a final check of the weather with Dylan Kerfman. Dylan, what do we have going on?
Well, Josh, again, not looking too great. We got very cold temperatures throughout the week. Thursday, 6. Friday, though, we do see the sun, but it'll also be our coldest night for the week of -12. And then Sunday, expecting to see some snow showers in our forecast.
Dylan Kerfman in our KSSU Weather Center. Dylan, thank you. That does it for us today at 12:30. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter, and also our YouTube channel. Just search KSSU Television. For all of us here at KSSU, I'm Josh Sprider. Have a great weekend.